Is that everybody's here? Okay.
Here.
Well, you should
Tom's
note
here.
that Don and
All
Malcolm.
right, yeah, so Malcolm is sick and Don and Malcolm are not available. So it is the three of us. Do we need a motion to call in order? Or are we good?
No,
All right, we're good. All right. So the first item is there are no announcements or any announcements? None that I know of. Any? Okay. We are on to licensing and petitions, departmental requests. That's Amy.
that
Yes.
is culture and tourism, I thought.
Yeah, culture and tourism. Okay.
They're not on.
Uh-huh.
Do
No,
we
I
want-
don't see him.
Do we want to skip and come back to them? I can do that. Okay.
Okay.
We're going to go to licensing and petitions. Number 4. So that's Amy.
That's me. So that would be the change of hours, correct? So the change of
Yes.
hours. I'll do this one. So we've done a couple of these, as you know, a change of hours. This is for One Broad Street LLC, the DBA Surfside at 2 Broad Street. They are requesting administrative update to their liquor service hours. Whoops, did I not edit this correctly? I'm sorry. I think I still have straight forward in here. Anyway, I'm just looking at the AIS. I might not have edited that correctly.
I fixed it up a little bit for the board.
Okay. So it's Surfside, DBA Surfside there on Broad Street. And when we originally reviewed this and the license was issued in February of 2023, it was requested for direct table service only of alcohol, which they have been doing, and alcohol service to stop at 9 p.m. And they were able to continue service of food, but they had to stop alcohol service at 9 p.m. As we've discussed previously, that Mass state law says that these licenses cannot be barred from serving alcohol between 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. So therefore, again, after the ABCC meeting, the licensee did realize that and request that they be allowed to extend their service hours to 11 p.m. as they are allowed to do. By MGL 138, I will say, as I listed here, we've had no complaints with them in their first 2 years at all. Compliance has been great. Communication with the licensee is great. So we have no concerns there too. So we just ask for consent on that to update those hours officially on their license to 11 p.m. This doesn't change entertainment or noise or anything of that sort, just service hours to 11 p.m.
Thank you, Amy. Brooke?
Yeah, I had some outreach from neighbors and I just wanted to repeat, Amy, you said it, but this has nothing to do with outdoor music or anything like that. This is just it's a technical change to bring it in compliance with the state requirements. So I will make a motion to approve.
Correct.
Second.
All right. Well, for discussion, I had one point that I wanted to ask about is we have to allow places to open to 11. We can't do anything about that. But the rules talk about outside reasonable conditions.
Mm-hmm.
So if we found, for example, and I agree, because I've asked some neighbors and they've been really good neighbors and there hasn't been an issue. But if, let's for argument's sake, say we find out that it is becoming, the pre-bar scene and it's staying till 11 and they all go there outside and it's becoming loud and et cetera. Would a reasonable condition, would we be allowed to control hours of outside drinking?
Yes, correct. And I did ask that, and I believe so, especially in the condition that if it was unruly behavior or disturbing public peace, public safety, and that sort of thing, it certainly can be suspension of service outdoors or other conditions. Therefore, it's just in setting the hours, we're not allowed to bar them from serving alcohol between those hours. So again, you can make the argument as well that they are allowed service indoors. But yeah, I would restrict it to in response to behavior. But yes, we can certainly consider that.
Yeah. I'm not, they're doing table service. They're not letting people stand up. They're not coming to a
Correct.
bar. I don't see this being an issue, but I think we all have to understand that if there isn't, we do have abilities with any outdoor seating. If there's an issue, we don't have to allow them to have it, So I
Correct.
want to make that point. So we
Correct,
have a
yes.
motion. Does anyone else have any other comments?
Yeah, Matt, I assume that the reason it wasn't 11 to begin with, I believe this was approved the year before I hopped on the board, but that it was some agreement between they would stick till 9 and now they're asking for 11. So, and then, okay. I just want to make sure that the law didn't, okay.
Yeah, and I think if I could, it's a good point too, and I've kind of discussed this, that, and we talked about this with Straight Wharf Fish Market, they have an agreement with the neighbors to end at a certain time, and we wrote the license to such they were allowed, like those around them, to serve until late. However, private agreements, were between those parties. Certainly, as someone new comes on, if there's an agreement, absolutely, they would agree to go, yeah, absolutely, our first year, we're going to close at, 6, 7, whatever it is, but they can always come back and ask for that. But certainly, I think a neighborly agreement is allowed. Absolutely. Yeah. And there never had been alcohol on the strip there as well. So that was, the initial kind of, okay, this is a new thing. And they understood that. So, and they've been great. We have not had an issue there. So.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, Brooke?
Just to clarify on what Matt said, we would have to have a reason to suspend it, right?
Correct.
Okay, we can't just do it, like, we wouldn't have the option to say no to outdoor today.
Well, outdoor, I can, what, I may ask to further investigate that. I certainly spoke with the ABCC when they were here. Outdoor service, someone, like, we're going to be talking about outdoor service now. If someone were expanding outdoors, that's a local only kind of discussion. So it's certainly something that can be on the table. And I will speak with them more about that,
That'd be great.
because yeah.
No, I just wanted to point out that we do have broader discretion. I just want the board to understand we have broader discretion with outdoor dining. It's not everything goes, you're allowed 11 and you can do whatever you want. If you're outside, even if it's within your footprint, you still have to be, sort of respectful and not cause problems to everybody else. So to the public. And so I think that's, just a good thing for us to be aware of. That's all.
Yep. Correct.
And again, I've talked to the neighbors and the neighbors are fine. These guys have been great. There hasn't been an
Yep.
issue. It's just important for us to know and not feel like we're voting ourselves into a corner forever.
Right.
Are there any other comments? All right. There's a motion. They've got Tom,
Aye.
Brooke,
Hi.
and I vote aye. So that's approved.
All right,
Thank
Dana
you.
is on if you want to go back to the first item.
Okay, so we're going to go back to licensing and petitions, departmental request by Culture and Tourism.
Hello, thanks for having me again. I'm just here to share an update for the month of June. It's been very busy, as you can tell, since I submitted this spreadsheet. It has become outdated, so I have some new numbers to share with you all. So this month's event list now includes 23 event applications, and of the 23, 21 of them require permits. And of those 21, 7 have been permitted as of this morning. The status column indicates that the remaining requirements for all of the events, and it kind of goes to show how we're kind of coordinating across departments and all of the requirements that go into these permits for the events that are being held on the island. This month shows a trend towards larger event. The average when I submitted this was 250 anticipated attendees. It's since gone down to 168 with the addition of the remaining applications. 11 events will have an anticipated attendance of more than 100 of people, and 6 of these are previously approved public assemblies, including the film festival, which will be coming up in a couple of weeks. And then 11 of the 23 events that require permits will be serving alcohol. As per the ABCC, the nonprofits can serve all alcohol, while for-profits can only serve beer and wine. And 4 of the events will serve alcohol and 7 will serve beer and wine only. And that is my report. And I'm open to any questions, comments you guys may have.
All right, thank you, Dina. Anyone have any questions or comments?
Just that it's a lot. Thank you, Dina.
Thank you.
Matt,
Tom?
yeah, Matt, I would just add that per our last meeting, when we were talking about when organizations come in and request a permit and all that, that it was a little, I don't know, troubling is exactly the right word, but unfortunate for staff that some of those were loaded towards the back end of when that was happening. And I just want to reiterate my comments that maybe some of those deadlines could be tightened up so that staff isn't constantly having to move mountains at the last minute to get all the permits done. I just think that's wholly unfair. I know stuff happens, things come up, everyone's busy. It's that time of the year here, but I think it's just it's not the best thing for your office to be weighed down with that. So, but I think that we sort of left that as a placeholder for next year.
Right. That kind of falls under the, your lack of doing something becomes my emergency sort of category.
No.
And I think that's not, you're completely right. That's not fair to people. And so I think any other comment, and I would like and at this point next year, I'd love to be able to track and see what direction we're going. Because I think if we just keep adding and adding, these are having a large impact on our, on the island and our capacity to handle it all. Amy's got her hand up.
Yeah, if a couple comments, and yeah, we're actually meeting later today, Chantal and myself, in town administration about that plan as we move forward and bringing it all together. And as we talked last time about art gallery pouring permits and things, I appreciated all of your comments back, and I think we're going to relook at it and kind of bring that into a larger plan that we'll bring back. I spoke with the ABCC about that. So we're going to be updating that per some of your comments, but also Tom, definitely, I think on a lot of things, everyone's looking at longer lead times and not just submitting things the last minute. So I think that's going into process, but I just wanted to update you on some of that's in the works, and appreciate your comments on that. I think Chantal also had comments.
Yeah. All right, Chantal.
Thank you. So we will be presenting our revised special events policy to Cabinet in July. We went through in June, so last week actually, with our internal special events committee that includes a few different department heads. So they reviewed it, and it goes to the larger cabinet July. And if all goes well, you'll have a draft for a new special events policy for August to review.
That's great. Thank you, Chantal.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, we're going to move on, and we are in licensing petitions, public hearing to consider alteration of premises for Queequegs, 6 Oak Street.
Matt, you just need to move. We need to open the public hearing.
Okay, so sorry, thanks. So let's open the public hearing. Do I have a motion?
You can just open it.
All right, I'm opening it. It's opened. All right.
Thank you.
So now we can talk.
Okay, so thank you so much. This is a liquor license alteration of premises application for Queequegs LLC, which is DBA Queequegs, also in town, on 6 Oak Street. So as we've done a couple times before in the past year, per the new updated state policy, is that these alteration of premises that involve outdoor patios and spaces are local approvals only. We report to the ABCC and they review it, but they do not, have to approve it. So it is approved on the local level. This is an all alcoholic beverages service application for Town and Queequegs to be allowed to serve up to 24 additional outdoor seats on an adjacent outdoor patio. We've included the layout and the photos. I will mention that it was approved with no issues by the planning board on May 15th. It complies with, there's the photos. They are, I believe, and the applicant will speak in a second. They will fence that in per the outdoor guidelines. It's obviously within eyesight and easy management of their main licensed premise, which is the condition of outdoor guidelines as well. And as I also mentioned here, for the applicant to confirm, I know they did not request additional entertainment, that speakers will not be moved or added to this location, and that the entertainment license as exists will continue, which is for quiet background music for that outdoor space. So just to confirm that by the select board too will be helpful, because any change in that would require an additional amendment. And I'll leave it there for questions for the applicant.
Okay. And who's, I can't see the screen. Who's here as the applicant? Would you like to speak? Who is it?
John's here, John Keane and Casey Kiley, the manager.
Oh, all right. Hey, John.
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
All right.
I hopefully think what we're trying to apply for should be very simple. We want to keep it simple. The patio on the abutters property has been vacant for almost 30 years. I've operated the buildings behind it for about 24 years, I believe. And all we're trying to do is keep it simple and have road frontage on South Water Street, or have a visibility from South Water Street, that we're no longer a restaurant on a side street. We just want to try and comply.
Right. Okay. Is there anyone else that wants to speak in favor, or any questions from the board?
Mr. Chair.
Yep. Tom.
To Amy, looking at these plans, does the amount of seating sort of generally comport with other seating arrangements? I was just sort of thinking, is 24, I'm sure this has been figured out and planning eyes looked at this, et cetera, but is 24 kind of in general works for this size area? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, it seems like just eyeballing it into the space seems like a lot, but I have to leave that to planning and building and those folks to say, okay. But again, in your case, if you're looking at it and you think it's too much, what the board's ability to do is can certainly be stricter if there's concerns, obviously not looser than what planning board approves or building approves. If the board felt there was any reason for it to be too much, they certainly can go stricter. The other thing I just want to confirm with Mr. Keene, I believe from what I heard with the planning board, is that the entrance will remain the same, which would be at the host stand at town entrance. I don't believe there's going to be another new entrance, that they'll be fenced in. I just want to confirm that with him.
John, you want to answer that?
Yeah, Tom, just to answer your question, the two patios that are existing, the Queequegs one and the town one, both seat between 22 and 24 people. This is the square footage that we're talking about is exactly the same. What we're trying to do is, if you look at the picture that's shown right now, this picture right now, there's 3 umbrellas, there's 3 tables. If transplant that down, just continue it down onto the other property. That's exactly what we're copying. We're not trying to cram tables in. We're not trying to overpopulate the space. So just imagine the umbrellas that are there moving down to the corner of the sign of the street. And then the other thing is, to address the other subject, is there will be only one means of egress to the property, and that will be still through town. I'm not putting a second host on. That's a good picture to look at. See the three umbrellas that are along there right now? That's just going to expand down here. That banquette will expand down here. In between the building and the umbrellas, there will be a gate, and that's going to be a private residence gate for the people that have the apartment upstairs. We're not really trying to invent the wheel here. All we're trying to do is make good use out of what should be, in theory, common sense.
All right. Is there anyone else with questions? Anyone else with comments?
Chair?
Yes.
So my first reaction was, huh? And then I thought about it, and I realized we've done outdoor dining, and it's been very popular. And a lot of that has encroached on sidewalks. To me, this is a really great way to have more of that outdoor dining experience for people without it encroaching on sidewalks. And just, obviously making sure that umbrellas and so forth don't extend over the sidewalk, and all of that being condition of this. And I think subject to all planning and building department conditions around spacing between tables, I'm not going to weigh in on that. I think I'm not in a position to weigh in on that, but we do have parts of town administration that are responsible for vetting those.
John,
choices.
I think John wants to answer you.
Brooke, how you doing?
Good.
I've been in the building industry, or I'm very aware of it, and I comply with all our bathrooms. So plumbing department, we're covered with, fire department, we're covered with the amount of exits and all the rest of that kind of thing. We're very aware of what the requirements are. And I even voiced it at the ABC meeting. It's like, you might approve something, but the next hurdle that person's going to meet is going to be told they can't do it because they don't comply. They don't meet the requirement. It's like nobody can open up a 200 seat restaurant with only one toilet. There's formulas and all the rest of that. We comply with everything. So I just wanted to let you know that we're ahead of the curve there.
Right. I have a question for John, Casey and John. When you went to planning board, did you have did neighbors have to be warned about this? Did they have to be notified? And was there any pushback at all on this?
No,
Year that I know of.
Okay.
And I mean,
there's a pretty extensive abutters list, if I remember correctly. Right?
yes,
Okay.
it was like there was at least 75 letters sent out. It was a very extensive list of notifications that went out. I was kind of surprised with the abutters list that we had to produce for this format, which was only the ones that touched your property. And basically me and the neighbor who I'm renting from are the only people that got notified.
Or half the people.
Like I mean, it was like 4 or 5 people.
So 4 or 5 people got notified for this hearing today.
Yes, but the planning board was last month, and that was at least 75 people. I think it was like a 200-foot radius around the property or something.
Right. Right. And just so you know, I reached out to someone who had concerns a couple years ago about the noise level, and they said it has been a lot better. So,
Right, well, that's nice to hear. Thank you.
yeah, no, I just made sure, because the last thing we want to do is approve something and then find out that it's, that we've been the dumbest board ever, and and you've been keeping everyone awake until 3 a.m. every night. So I made sure, and that is not what's happening, hopefully. So that's good news.
Good.
Erica?
I just had a quick question, and it's probably not under your purview, but to John, if I may, I'm assuming that's an egress access for the apartment upstairs,
Yeah.
and by opening this up to the restaurant, is that impacting the access, the egress access, and did the building department have any say on that?
Could you ask the question one more time, more specifically, please?
I'm just wondering if by opening this up to restaurant traffic, if that's going to impede the egress access for the apartment.
It won't impede the egress. One of the conditions of the neighbor is that he wants to have privacy. To get to that back door, which works down along that walkway, where we're putting it right now, what happens is people go to the pizza joint or they go to the burrito place or Stubbies at night, and then they come over and they sit on the wall and eat, and they leave their plates and their food or whatever, and then we clean it up in the morning. He wants to actually have some privacy, and that's what we're trying to provide, is a situation where it's managed. It's just not at the moment. The property, that piece of space is non-managed. It might as well, don't get me wrong, but it might as well be a bus stop, or that's the place where people gather to get Ubers and taxis, etc. And as a result,
All right, I think, I don't know, I'm not sure there's anything else. Does anyone have a motion or,
You'll have to motion to close the public hearing.
first, so that motion to close the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
You have to do it by roll call.
Brooke,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
and I vote aye. So we're closed. Do we have a motion?
Yep, I would move approval with the following notes, that that the permit holder be reminded that entertainment may not be extended to this area. And I think, and subject to all other permits, applicable permits. And yeah, that would be my motion.
We have a
Second.
second. And just to clarify, if we're not extending it, we're also not turning up the volume, correct?
well,
Yeah, they're not, okay. All right, so we have two, and so now who'd like to vote? Brooke,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
chair votes aye, we're all set, thank you.
thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, we are now on to public hearings, utility petition for 13 Cliff Road.
Just open the hearing.
I'd like to, opening the public hearing?
These are all residential utility petitions, and Tim Lyford is on from National Grid, and I'm going to ask Tim to review these, please.
All right, Tim?
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we're all set.
Excellent. For this first petition, National Grid is petitioning for approximately 20 feet of two 4-inch conduits going across Cliff Road, and also one handhole to be located in the sidewalk between properties 13 and 15. And this is for new service to number 15 Cliff Road.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak? Okay, is there any questions from the board?
Nope. Motion.
Motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
All right. And let's vote, so Tom,
Aye.
Brooke,
Aye.
I vote aye. We're closed. Do we have a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
All right,
Departmental comments.
yep, including the comments, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, Brooke,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
chair votes aye. We're approved. All right, number three is Duke's Road and Nantucket Road. I'm opening the public hearing. All right, Tim?
So for this second one, National Grid is petitioning for approximately 60 feet of 2 4-inch conduits and 1 handhole. And this is for new service to number 2 Dukes Road.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Anyone from the public want to speak? All right, seeing none. Do we have any
Motion
questions?
to close the
from
public
board?
hearing.
All right, second.
Second.
All right, I'll vote, Tom,
Aye.
Brooke,
Aye.
and chair votes aye to close it. All right, do we have any questions or motion?
Motion to approve with departmental comments.
Second.
All right, Tom,
Aye.
Brooke,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye, so we're all set. All right, we are on to number 4, 14 Harbor View. And I'm opening the public hearing. Tim?
For this one, National Grid is petitioning for approximately 15 feet of 1 3-inch conduit and 1 handhole. And this is for new service to 14 Harborview.
Okay. Is there anyone from the public that would like to comment on this? All right, none that I've seen.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Second, all right, Tom,
Aye.
Brooke,
Aye.
chair votes aye, we are closed. Do you have any questions or a motion on this?
Motion to approve with departmental comments.
Second.
All right, so Tom,
Aye.
Brooke,
Aye.
chair votes aye, that's approved. Number 5, 117 Old South Road. I'm opening the public hearing. Tim?
For this one, National Grid is petitioning for approximately 50 feet of 2 4-inch conduits and 1 pole box. And this is for new service for 117 Old South Road.
Okay. And I've opened the public hearing. Is there anyone that would like to comment from the public? All right, seeing none.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All right, Tom,
Aye.
Brooke,
Aye.
chair votes aye to close it. Any questions or, I have one question, but before you make a motion, is that box, is that going to be flush with the ground or is that going to be, sort of in the layout? And if it is in the layout, where is it? Is it near That's for you, Tim.
Sorry, I think you broke up there for a second, Matt. I got the first part. So that pole box will be flush with the ground.
Okay.
But I think ultimately it will be upgraded to an above ground junction box. But for this specific job, it will be flush with the ground.
I got you. So it'll be flush and then I just want to make sure that it's not impeding anything if we're putting it in. Or if we replace it, is it impeding anything?
I don't think it will be impeding anything. It should be located to the left of the driveway for 117. If you're standing on Old South looking at the driveway, I think it's going to be located to the left.
Okay. All right. Does anyone else have any questions or a motion?
Motion to approve with departmental comments.
Second,
Wait.
Brooke?
Oh, yeah, second. Sorry, I lost. the
All right.
thread.
And we would like to vote on it. Tom,
Aye.
Brooke,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye, so we're all set. All right, number 6, 32 and 39 Orange Street. I'm opening the public hearing. All right, Tim?
So for this one, we are petitioning for approximately 30 feet of 2 3-inch conduits and 2 handholds. 1 handhold to be located on each side of the street. And this is for new service to 30A Orange Street.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone for the public? Erica?
I just want to note that we currently have a permit from the contractor who is Strang. They are they actually have Orange Street closed today to do a sewer connection, but they, if approved today, they plan to go ahead and get this work done this week while they're doing the sewer work, so it's one closure.
Okay, great. That sounds good. All right. Anyone else from the public want to speak on this? All right, seeing none.
Motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
All right. And Tom,
Aye.
Brooke,
Aye.
and Chair votes aye, so the public hearing is closed. Do we have any comments before we vote on it? Any?
No, motion to approve with departmental comments.
Okay.
Second.
All right. Tom,
Aye.
Brooke,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. And just a comment, when I look at this, I assume these are flush because of the way they're drawn. The other one was like a darker color. So that's why I was questioning the other one, but that's fine. We've approved it. All right, number 7. It is 241 Nantucket Road. I'm opening the public hearing. Tim?
For this last one, National Grid is petitioning for approximately 100 feet of 2 3-inch conduits to be located on Tennessee Ave and crossing over North Cambridge Street. And this is for upgrades and improvements to the service at 241 Nantucket Road.
Okay. Is there any, it's a public hearing. Is there anyone from the public that'd like to speak on this? Seeing none?
Motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
All right, Tom?
Aye.
Brooke?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. All right, do we have any questions or a motion on this?
Motion to approve with departmental comments?
Second.
Tom?
Aye.
Brooke?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. And that's approved. Thank you very much. Wait, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
All right, Tom?
Aye.
Brooke?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks all.
Bye-bye.